He's gonna help me field the questions later. Tanya already enrolled for May. Came to hopefully see some women who are successfully in the program. Yes, you should go on our website, Tanya. It's not as many women as we would like, but don't forget, the co-founder is a woman. Tanya. So, and you could go on the website and look at all the student success. You could find some women as well to inspire you. Shelton says he's locked in. Well, you have to do what you got to do, Shelton. But Sonia, I really encourage you, go on the website and look at the testimonial. I think it's very inspiring to see what people move away from to get into tech. It's super interesting. All right, we are 7:06. Let's begin. Ivy, let's get the show started. Welcome, everyone. This is probably a record or almost one. We have 45 attendees and growing, and we're also streaming. So today is an open house. It's a simple open house, and the format is simple. It's me introducing you to yellowtail.tech once more and answering your questions and having a chat with some alumni. So next slide. Give me 5 minutes to really introduce you to the company. So we launched the company in 2016, but between 2014 and 2016, it was us figuring out my wife's career in tech, her transition. As she transitioned, we also were helping people, friends and family, and we realized that we had a product for the marketplace. In 2016, we officially launched yellowtail.tech. We offer two programs that vary between 6 and 9 months, which is Linux for Jobs and Cloud for Jobs. We're an AWS official training partner, and we specifically only focus on helping people with no IT background transition into tech without a degree. That's what we do. That's what we do all day. Next slide. Again, I'm Juby Vilcius, your CEO at yellowtail.tech. I co-founded yellowtail.tech with Paloma, who was student number one, as I said. I'm responsible really for student outcome. Furthermore, I have a background in management information systems, and I have a background in Red Hat. I'm a RHCSA as well. Next slide. So our two programs is Linux for Jobs and Cloud for Jobs. So I can definitely tell you that Linux for Jobs is our flagship program. And this is the program we recommend most people to start with. In fact, 80+% of our students start with Linux, because Linux for Jobs is actually foundational for even if you were to go into cloud. So cloud is more an ascension program once you're done with Linux for Jobs. We are also an AWS training partner. I definitely don't want you to take my word for it, but we have great rating online. I encourage you, once you're done here, you go look us up online. We have on average a 4.9 on all the review platforms. And we've won Best Information Technology Bootcamp from Career Karma and many other places. Next slide. We also were acknowledged as one of the fastest growing companies in the US, private held growing companies in the US in 2023 and 2024. And we submitted our application for this year, and we most likely will also be one of the fastest growing company for 2025 as well. So yeah, excited about that. So we've come a long way in almost 10 years. Next year, we're going to be celebrating 10 years of existence, 10 years of helping people transitioning into tech. We pride ourselves not only on our training, but most importantly in our support. relentless career support. That's what we built this company on. This is what I didn't find when I went to college. I got a lot of training, courses, but after graduation, I felt the support that was offered to graduate was lacking. So I decided if I were to ever get into edtech, this is what I would address the most, which is career support. That's why we have a relentless career support with resume writing, LinkedIn optimization, mock interviews, job search optimization, career support in general, dedicated career support. That's what we build Yellowtail.tech around. Next slide. What's new at yellowtail.tech? What's new to our program? Well, I'm excited to say we've launched automation, Ansible automation, and YT Genius. What are they? First of all, Ansible automation is just an automation tool. It's a Red Hat. The company that owns this tool is called Red Hat. It's the same company that actually runs a Linux Red Hat that owns the automation tool called Ansible. It's all about automating your workload in your tech environment. Why this is important? Why am I excited about this? It's because this is the future of Linux. 10 years ago, you could get away with just knowing Linux. But now you need to understand, you need to master automation. This is why we added it as a feature to our program. And also, I'm excited to talk about YT Genius. It's just a AI companion to support you during your study at Yellowtail.tech. It's not intended to replace anything we do. It's only intended to enhance your learning experience at Yellowtail.tech. Okay, we still at the core of our program, it's still live training. It's still a lot of interaction, but YC Genius is here to fill in the gap between classes, between homeworks, and so on. Next slide, please. So again, what's exciting and what's unique about this automation tool called Ansible? First, it's a Red Hat tool. So once you are done with your program, you're going to come out with a Red Hat certification. And Ansible is also a Red Hat tool. So that way you go out to the marketplace even deeper with deeper knowledge in one space, which is the Red Hat suite of tools. And what's also exciting about Ansible is that it's an agentless architecture. Next slide. Agentless architecture, meaning it operates without requiring agents in every single servers. It's very light. And it also uses declarative language, which just means when you are not coding, when you are communicating with that automation tool, you are speaking like you are speaking English to it. So let's say you want to run a task, you say run task, literally. Let's say you want to build something, you see build this. So it uses declarative language, which makes it easy, very user-friendly to actually execute things on it. So that's why it's so popular. That's why companies of all sizes are adopting Ansible as their automation tool of choice. But by no means, Ansible is the only automation tool out there, but it's the one we've chosen for multiple reasons, including for its ease of use, for its scalability, its use in small and big environment as much. Next slide. So this is our revised student journey as we as we add Ansible automation. So you start with the core training, which is Linux. You go into Cert Prep. You come out with RHCSA, the Red Hat Certified System Administrator certification, and a Security Plus. The Security Plus, you all know, it helps, especially if you want to position yourself for the GovTech industry. And then you go into apprenticeship. and career coaching. So now you get the choice. Either you go the Ensemble route, which is included in your tuition, or you go straight to the job search. The only warning is that yes, the Ansible going the route of Ansible and automation is longer, but it may get you there faster. It's like the highway. The highway may be longer, may go around the city because it's avoiding traffic, but it gets you to destination faster. So if you come off apprenticeship and you go straight to the marketplace without an additional layer of training, of relevance for the marketplace, it might be a little bit more difficult for you to land a job as a Linux system administrator. But at the end of the day, it's your choice. So that's the new student journey. And YT Genius, like I said, it's an AI companion. It's not just ChatGPT rebranded. It's a AI companion that we fed all our material, all our lectures, all things Linux related, so it can actually support you throughout your journey. It's very interesting, and you'll be happy to interact with it. It's still in its beta phase. We're already having student who self identify to actually test this. Um, but it's working really well. People are loving it, and we are about to roll it out to the whole student community very soon. Next slide. So I talked about that already, so let's go to the next slide, Ivy. All right, that's the best part of the is the Q&A with Rodney and Mohammed. Welcome, Rodney. Welcome, Mohammed. Now we're just gonna have a conversation with those two individuals. They are both alumni from the program at different stages. Mohammed already landed a job. Rodney just passed his cert and is entering the apprenticeship. So if you have any particular questions for Mohammed or Rodney, please put it in the chat. But I'm gonna start by welcoming Rodney. Welcome, Rodney. How you doing, man? Talk to
Doing
us.
good, sir. Doing good. How about you guys today?
I'm well, I'm well. I usually start by asking you this. What made you transition into tech? How did you stumble on yellowtail.tech? Give us the story.
Yeah, so always had a knack for tech, even when I was a teenager. But life happens, and you get married, you get a job, and you go with it. And my wife was telling me, "Hey, go back to your passion." So last summer, I was listening to Anthony O'Neill, and he was talking about you guys, Yellowtail Tech, and I was like, you know what? I'm finna give you guys a call, and I did that. Talked to Pete. Next thing is history.
All right. So basically you were already considering tech. It's just which direction you wanted to go. Is that the case for you?
Correct. That is so
Mm.
true. Yes.
Okay, okay. How about you, Mohammed? What's your story? How did you decide to get into tech? How did you stumble on yellowtail.tech? Talk to us.
So for me, after high school, I joined the army, and after 2 years in, I was like, I don't want to do 20 years in the army. Like, I was like, nah, this is not for me. I need to figure out something else. That's when I did my research and came across GovTech, and then I was like, oh, I think this is a good field for me to get into. Then I started listening to Simone Bies a lot. Then I came across your interview with her. Then I was like, this is it for me. And then I'm gonna take my chance on this, and I think everything's gonna work out. Even though it was a big risk, kind of, I was like, I don't have anything to lose. The army is gonna be there for me anyway. So I'm young, and I said I'm gonna take the risk, and it all worked out.
why do you think it was a risk? Why do you call it a risk?
Uh, I didn't think it was a risk, but the people around me, they was like, "Oh, why you leaving? Do 20 years, get a free retirement paycheck after 38, and you serve for life." But I was like, "But I'm gonna sacrifice a lot for that retirement too. The time I'm gonna lose, you're not counting that." So I was like, "Nah, this is not for me." I didn't listen to anybody. I was like, "I'm gonna just take a risk." So I started saving up my money, then figure out this thing to get in GovTech, and now I'm here.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me ask you one question that I always ask. I see it in the chat.
Mhm.
Um, Let me ask Rodney this question, because it's more recent for him. Uh, did you pass the exam on your first attempt, Rodney?
I did it on my first attempt. Yes.
Yeah. So how was it? Was it difficult? Talk to us about the art.
Well, I think for me it wasn't really difficult because I was doing the practice like every day until I did my exam. So I'm up early morning, I'm up late night, and I'm out here just doing it. And so I felt real confident when I set my date, and I just went out and just did everything that I was taught, and it worked out great.
Yeah,
I had a couple issues in it, but I managed to get around them, and here we are.
yeah. And also the good thing about Red Hat now, with your voucher, you get 2 tries automatically. So even if I don't tell you to go in to not pass, but you bought 2 tries automatically. So let me see who asked that. How well did the training prepare you for the exam? Let me have Mohammed tell us about that.
So the training prepared me very well. Without the training, I know for sure it would take me like maybe a year or more to pass the exam. Which helped me also is the army. I'm gonna say again, coming out, they gave me six months off of work, and you still get paid. So I used that time. I had the whole day to study for myself and go through the training program. So it was very easy to pass the exam for me, to be honest. I didn't
Okay.
struggle on it, and I passed on the day we graduated. I passed on the day we graduated.
So you passed. That's another thing I tell people and they don't believe it. We
Yeah.
train you so well, so by the last day of class, you are ready to go sit for the exam. It's not a
Yeah.
situation where you take the certification prep and then you have to go sit and study for another 2 months. You come out ready to go sit for the exam. Yeah. Um, oh, you haven't started the apprenticeship, so I have to ask this from Mohammed. Tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about the apprenticeship. What does it consist of? John Stevens wants to have an idea.
So for the apprenticeship, it was challenging for me because you solving tickets in
Mhm.
a real environment, enterprise environment. You building servers, configure storage and stuff, and dealing with multiple tools like Ansible, like you just talked about, Terraform, Python, all that stuff.
Yeah. So to answer your question, John Stevens, Uh, basically, what we do is make sure you get exposed not only to Linux. A lot of people have that misconception that you just pass the RCSA, you walk into a job, that's all you're gonna do is deal with Linux. Mohammed can tell you, Linux is probably gonna be, yes, at the center of your job, but it's probably gonna be 30%. You're gonna have to deal with other tools to actually make the environment work. That's the biggest misconception I want to get people out of as soon as possible. Linux is at the core, but you need to understand what they call peripheral. contextual tools that you're going to be using. So that's what the apprenticeship is about, is to give you that hands-on knowledge, understanding of all the tools you have around you. Yeah. So Rodney, I have this question for you. What was the most difficult part of the program? What was the challenge for you going through the program?
I think the biggest thing for me was just starting. You don't know what you're really getting into until you actually get in there. So I'm like, how do I navigate? You still got to work, you still got to, provide for home, but how do I set myself up to succeed? And that first initial, like month, I'm like, man, how do you navigate? And after that, you kind of just find your wave and you just go with it. So that was
But
my biggest challenge.
But I have to admit, Rodney and Mohammed, you two are very fortunate. You have a wife that actually encouraged you to go back to your passion, Rodney. And
Yes.
Mohammed, you had a bit of time off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's super important to actually go and enroll your support system, because the more people around you are encouraging you, are creating the space for you to have time to study, time to go to the to classes. Rodney, do you have kids?
Yes, I got two boys, 8 and 12.
Exactly. So you need your wife to actually, create
Yes.
that space for you to actually have time. So I applaud people who not only make it work, but whoever helped them make it work, And in your case, Mohammed, is the army, like you said. You know,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
yeah. How about you, Mohammed? What was the, hardest part? What was the low lights? Because I like to talk about success, but I also like to give people, real sense of what it takes. Tell us, what was the low lights of the whole process for you?
For me, it was going through the apprenticeship because in there you have to figure out how to use the tools. Even though you know the basics of Linux and pass the exam, going to tickets is a different game. Like you gotta sit down, what do I need to do? Where do I need to go? And after you solve the problem, you gotta document everything and put it step by step. And
Yeah.
then when you submit your ticket, they gotta check your ticket if you did it right or wrong. If you did it wrong, they're gonna kick it back. Then you gotta go through it again, document, and send it. I
Do
think
you
that
think
was
it, do you think it, although, of course, challenging, do you think
yeah,
how much do you think it contributed to your success?
a lot. Because I use those stories in my interview to get a job. So it definitely helped me a lot. Without it, I wouldn't get a job for sure. That's for sure.
I think it answers the question I saw here about, can you put things you've learned on in the apprenticeship on your resume? What's the answer to that, Mohammed?
That's 100%. You can put the things you learn in apprenticeship on your resume.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. With Ansible automation, when do you get to the crossroad of going the route or straight to the job market? After the basically, let me answer Melissa. Melissa, basically now, you get a choice of either after your main apprenticeship going to the job market or going deeper into automation before you hit the job market, but you have to decide. It's only included in your tuition if you do it before you hit the job market. If you come back, you change your mind, you break your teeth on the job market, you come back, you're gonna pay. Then the reason why we do it like that is to incentivize you to take the most efficient way the first time. Because people like the fast way, they want to hit the job market. Well, we know we want to give you the option, but we know also it's not necessarily the most efficient option. Yeah. All right. Let's see what other question we have here. Our our placement rate is calculated from our the students who were certified. So we have a 68% job placement rate within the 6 months and a 78% job placement rate within a year. But also, I want to warn you, I want to put a caveat on this. I'm always skeptical of people asking for placement rate. Basically, what they're trying to do is see, okay, if I come here, do I get a job? I can promise you, if you come here and you don't do the work, it doesn't matter if the placement rate was 98%, you'll be in the 2%. So the general placement rate has nothing to do with how you're gonna do in the program. Okay. And this is for let me see who, yeah, Faye. I want to make sure you understand that. Don't project the placement rate on yourself. Ask yourself how committed you are going to be, how much work you're going to do, like Rodney, how much you're going to put aside in terms of time, how much you're going to enroll your family or your spouse or your support system to help you make this happen. This, to me, is a more uh, telling question than what's the placement rate, because we've placed enough people for us to know and for you to know that this thing works. Does it work for everyone? No. If you come here and you lollygag your way through, it's not going to work. Doesn't matter if the placement was 99%. Okay. All right. We are gonna finish in 3 minutes. I promise to keep this under 35 minutes. Let me see if there's any other question. Um, Noel, I have some shout out from Pete, uh, our enrollment advisor, that invited Crystal Brown, T. McMillan, Shelton, Deontay, Miss Bay, Tamway, Gabrielle Grimes, Michael Smith, Nestle Bonnie, Deontay. If anyone here heard their name, put a 1 in the chat. These are people who actually came here to get their question asked, who are considering um, yellowtail.tech. Please let me know if your questions are answered. Please let me know if you have any additional and last question for us. In the meantime, you ask additional questions. Um, Let me go to Rodney and ask you this, Rodney. Uh, if you had to give people considering the program one advice about deciding about the program, one advice about going with it or not, what would it be?
I would say if you really want to get in it, if you really want to do it, I say do it. The risk might be high, but the reward is gonna be real great.
All right, all right. Um, Same question for you, Mohammed. If someone stops you in the streets, I'm thinking about yellowtail.tech. I'm not sure. What's your take on it?
I'm gonna say that person need to have three things: the right mindset coming in, financial readiness, and wanting to sacrifice a lot. Yeah.
Willing to sacrifice. I like that. To
Yeah.
me, it's actually my motto in life. I
Yeah.
think anything worth having comes with pain. That's why I
Right.
actually walk into pain. I actually look for it because I know on the other side of pain, there's always learning. So I really find I really agree with you on this one, Mohammed. Yeah. Let me see if I have one last question I could slide in. What are the financial, Adam, if you have any questions about financing, about process, I urge you to look to a message down and click and book a call with our enrollment advisor. They're gonna answer all these questions, all these logistical questions for you. Um, let's see. Any more questions? Okay, Nelsie, your questions were answered. Um, any questions regarding the details of the program and financing options? I urge you to actually book a call, and you're gonna get all these things sorted out. Miss Bay here. Okay. Okay, welcome. So, Pete told me to look out for you guys because he invited you to make sure your questions are answered. Oh, one last question. If you already have the Security Plus, Mohammed, do you have the Security Plus?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So if you already have the Security Plus, we give you a credit for that, Lane, because you don't need it. It's already in the bag. It's part of the program. We give you a credit for that. Okay. So that's it for today. I hope I answered most of your questions. Yeah, I hope to see you at GovTechCon in September. Yellowtail.tech is an official sponsor. Mohammed, last year there was a lot of alumni. It's gonna be
Uh,
in the area. I hope to see you. Rodney, I hope to see you. We're gonna have tickets on sale. Yeah, man, let's do it.
no problem. I'll be there.
Okay, so everyone have a great day. Thank you, Mohammed and Rodney, for taking some time from your day to be here. And if I haven't answered your question, click on that link and book a 10-minute intro call with our enrollment advisor. Otherwise, peace. I'm out. Have a great evening.